Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be going over all of the skills, traits, and utility skills that we learned about with the warrior elite specialization, the Bladesworn. So we're going to go through all of this, have a nice shrunken, concise video. So let's begin, and I'm going to start with Gunsaber with a dragon trigger. This is replacing your burst skill, but there's a bunch of skills with this elite spec. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. So dragon trigger, prepare to use dragon slash. While channeling, you gain flow. Each interval increases the charge level of dragon slash. You gain 10 every half a second for 100 seconds. So next we have your dragon slashes. Dragon slash force. Slash foes in an arc in front of you, ending dragon trigger. This attack consumes all charges to deal more damage. A lot of damage. Huge modifiers on this one. It counts as an explosion and has a 300 range. Next we have dragon slash boost. Dash forward while slashing all foes in a line, ending dragon trigger. This attack consumes all charges to deal more damage. Not as powerful as the first one, but you gain a movement effect on this. Next, and finally for the dragon slash, we have reach. Slash to create a blade of air that strikes foes in a line in front of you, ending dragon trigger of course, and consuming for more damage. So those are the dragon slashes. However, there is a fourth and fifth skill. Fourth skill being trigger guard, gain Aegis. Really simple. I like these abilities, gives you a little bit of block. And next, flicker step. Blink to a location and it has a range of 300. Nothing crazy, but just for some slight repositioning. Now we're gonna go into the Gunsaber's weapon skills itself, not the dragon triggers, but just the normal attacks. The auto attack is swift cut into steel divide with a final attack called explosive thrust. Hit your foe with a final brutal stab and fire a shot that causes a secondary explosion, counting as an explosion. Blooming fire, slash with your blade and release a volley of explosions. Many explosions, which you traits interact with that. Artillery slash. Shoot a shell from your sword that explodes on the first enemy hit, applying cripple. Cyclone trigger. Spin and block enemy projectiles. Strikes all foes in melee range, and then fires shots at foes out of melee range. Has that duality of physical and range damage with a little bit of projectile destruction. And finally, we have break step. Lunge forward with explosive force. Not as much damage as the other skills, but it is that gap closer and it does apply fury. Also, all of these are pretty much ammunition skills, which of course there are traits that heavily play into ammunition skills. And then for the pistol, this is the lesser crazy thing, but they did have a new core weapon, this being the offhand pistol. So fourth skill is gun stinger. Quickly step forward to strike your foe while reloading your gun. Restores ammo to skill 5, and this ammo becomes very important on the fifth skill. This will apply vulnerability and, more importantly in my opinion, Aegis. It kind of fills that mixed niche of having some defensive capabilities like the shield while also having physical damage like offhand axes, maybe even offhand mace. And the fifth skill is Dragon's Roar. Fire all barrels in your hand cannon to deal damage to foes in front of you. This skill consumes all ammo when fired and pushes you back slightly. This is a lovely ammunition skill. I love that they are actually going beyond what we already know with ammunition skills. This fifth ability will use all of your ammo at once. It's not where you can just use it 5 times, you use them all. But they recharge pretty quickly, so if you are waiting for them to recharge back to the maximum of 6, but you're just at 3 and you want to get some extra damage, you can use that, it'll use 3. Now for their utility skills. They get armaments, which I actually am not sure why they're called armaments. They really just feel like gadgets. And because Bladesworn is already so magitech with their Gunsaber, it's weird that they just didn't give them gadgets. But nevertheless, we have combat stimulant. Heal yourself and enter stim state. When stim state expires, you are healed again. Using this skill while in stim state grants boons. So you'll apply this buff to yourself, and after delay, you'll gain a stronger healing. But because you have charges of this, if you use this ability again while that buff is on you, you gain quickness, fury, and vigor, though you have to wait a little bit longer to gain that delayed heal. Next, we have bulletproof barrier. Throw a device that explodes when it lands, which leaves behind a barrier that blocks projectiles. Pretty simple. Next, electric fence. Throw a device that leaves behind a wall of energy, crippling foes that pass through it. Foes that are already crippled become immobilized. So a lot of CC. Next, flow stabilizer. Increase flow rate and gain stability. If you already have stability, gain additional flow. This will increase your ability to use your Gunsaber, add some additional effects. Dragon Spike Mine. Evade backward while dropping a mine that cripples foes. This skill recharges Dragon Trigger. It's your evade, it's your stun break. It doesn't have ammo because that would be extremely strong, but importantly, it does refresh the cooldown on that Dragon Trigger, which you want to be using quite a bit. Next, we're going into the Elite. So the Elite skill is Tactical Reload, which is very simple, but very strong. Reload ammo on all of your profession skills. All of them. Every single one that you've used ammo on, this being your utilities, your weapons, your Gunsaber, shouts, any other utility skills that use ammo. You are getting ammo reloaded by 1, which is quite useful. It's really strong. So be on the lookout for that if there might be some balancing, cooldown increases, a cast time to it, etc., etc. We have covered the Gunsaber, the weapon, the utilities, and now we have to go into the traits. So for the first minor, we have Dragon Scale Defense. If you are struck while in Dragon Trigger, gain protection. This is because you're mostly stationary while you are preparing Dragon Trigger, so this allows for a little bit of extra defense. Guns and Glory. Gain ferocity for a short duration when you hit with an explosion. This effect stacks in duration. It's 250 ferocity, which is insane for a minor. It lasts for 10 seconds maximum, but when you are chaining those explosions, you are gaining increased duration on this. I wouldn't be mad to see this 250 be brought down to like 100, 150 in structured PvP, I'm just saying. Now we're gonna go into the adepts. First and foremost, we have River's Flow. Incoming healing is increased. Healing yourself increases your flow rate. Really just playing into that healing and defense. Swift as the Wind. Movement skills grant swiftness and increase flow rate. This allows you to maneuver a little bit faster. Unseen Sword. After a delay, deliver a circular attack to foes around you. This will increase flow rate if it hits. This will trigger when you swap weapons, and because you are on the Bladesworn, you only have access to one of your weapon kits. You can't necessarily swap to your secondary weapon that you have on your equipment, though your Gunsaber will act as a weapon swap, so that's very important to note. Now we're gonna go into the majors. Unshakable Mountain. Using the final round of an ammo on an ammunition skill grants barrier. Really nice. Extra defense. Maybe not too crazy. At first I thought this was gonna be really powerful, but it seems fairly balanced because you do have to get to the final ammo. Fierce as Fire. Using the final round of an ammo on ammunition skills drops a flame shell that burns nearby foes. In a small radius, but it's just a little extra burning application. I can't really see this being super strong. I don't know why it's burning. I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays. Lush Forest. Using the final round of an ammo on an ammunition skill reduces the recharge of all equipped skills. A lot of use out of that. Lot of recharge application. Going into the Grandmasters, we have Immortal Dragon. Dragon Slash heals you for a percentage of damage dealt, 8%, and you can get a lot of damage on those Dragon trigger skills. So you're going to be getting a lot of value out of this if you do manage to hit foes. 8% seems small, but the damage is quite high. Next, Unyielding Dragon. Dragon Slash becomes unblockable, ignores blindness, and stuns foes on hit. This allows you for a mostly guaranteed Dragon Slash. You're gonna be able to just decimate with those abilities and be unblockable. It's great. Next and finally, we have Daring Dragon. Dragon Slash has a lower maximum charge level, but re-enters Dragon Trigger if you can pay the flow cost. The flow cost is 10, which is pretty low, so you'll be able to chain multiple Dragon Slashes because you're going to be activating those Dragon Triggers very frequently if you are at maximum flow and maximum charge. But those maximum charge levels are 5 down from 10, so you're not going to get necessarily as much damage out of it, but it will be much more consistent and fast. So those are all of the Dragon Trigger skills, the Blade Gunsaber skills, the pistol skills, utilities, and the traits. There's a lot going on with Bladesworn. I'm very excited to actually play this. It seems like a lot of high damage access, a lot of self-sustain in some areas, and just really getting into that flow of combat, which hopefully warriors will really enjoy. But comment down below your thoughts about the Bladesworn. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Like, comment, subscribe. I have links down below if you'd like to support the Patreon and also pre-order End of Dragons. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye. Mwah.